Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Colts cast. We are here to talk about everything and anything Indianapolis Colts. My name is Eric Smith, co-host of the Colts cast. Alongside me, as always, I have co-host Jamal Lawrence here.
Yo, yo, yo.
Our Twitter handle is at the Colts cast, and our Instagram is at Colts cast. If you guys have social media, please go follow us right now. Right now, you're listening right now, so you might as well go follow us right now. Highlight videos, memes, polls we run, anything in between. You can hit us up on there. Look, week 6 is here. Second place in the AFC South.
Crazy.
Let's get it. Divisional game at home. Favorites by 2 points. Jamal, what's going to happen this week?
Man, oh man. You know, if you would have asked me, Eric, 2 weeks ago, what I thought was going to happen after watching the Jaguars put the smackdown on the Chargers, I would have said, hey, I don't want to watch it. I don't want any part of it. Don't even worry about it. But after what I saw, what they did against the Texans, hey, I'm ready for the war. I want the war now.
You ready? Okay.
Ready.
I'm ready too. Let's start week 6 off hot. I want to come out the gate. I want us to score 20 points in like the first quarter. I want us to just eat. That's unrealistic. But let's get into some Q&A session. Look, this is our first Q&A session on the Colts cast. I honestly thought we weren't going to get any questions. I mean, we're a fairly new podcast, but you guys submitted some. I am happy. I'm pleased. Thank you, guys. We have 4 questions, and we're going to go right through them. So, Jamal, I'll start out with the first one. We're not going to call out names. We'll keep it anonymous. What's the plan to protect Matt Ryan? He's getting creamed out there.
Complex question. I think everyone in Colts Nation knows how I feel and knows what I think we need to protect Matt Ryan. It's the better O-line. We need him to step up. Obviously I think we need a couple new players, but I think that we need to figure out where the issues are coming in across the board with our linemen, where the trust is coming from. So I say that because I like to think that finally Frank Reich, Ballard, these guys have been hearing the whispers, hearing people talk, and just this past week he made some changes. They let us know of a couple different changes since our Denver game. Reich released that Raymond's going to be the new starting left tackle. Of course, you know he had that terrible game. And then there were 4 holding penalties, which was a ton.
Yeah, I just want to interrupt real quick.
Yeah.
I looked at film a little later. He didn't play terrible in the second half like he did in the first half. So we'll let the rookie slide, right?
Absolutely. I mean, we did the same thing with Gallup Pierce, right? When he dropped that touchdown pass,
we
let that slide.
Oh.
So, welcome to the league.
Talk to him.
Yeah, so it's all good. We're not going to hold it against you. But what I found really interesting is Braden Smith going to the interior, going to be right guard now, per Frank Reich. I am interested. Eric, I know you probably saw he said he wanted to do it because he's better interior blocker, run blocker, et cetera, et cetera. So we want to go ahead and attack that. And of course, that leaves a gap at the right tackle. But before I even go down that rabbit hole, I see that face.
Exactly. Leaves a gap at right tackle. Who they got starting at right tackle now?
They're gonna have to keep Braden Smith at right tackle and put Fries in there. They're gonna have to at guard because you can't put Matt Pryor, who had arguably the most pressures in a game. He had more. What was that stat? He had 9 pressures, I think it was. But he had more pressures in the game than people have in the entire season. Something crazy like that. I mean, so no, you cannot trust him. So I don't know. I'm curious to know what Reich's move is with this and how true it is that Braden Smith will bump down the guard. I can maybe see it in a couple packages, but I don't really see that being the end-all, be-all, especially when we don't have a true right tackle. And honestly,
Braden Smith was it.
Well, yeah. Well,
I don't understand that move.
Yeah, I don't know.
We're gonna see though.
Yeah, we're gonna see. I just don't think it's gonna, especially with Ryan Kelly still not practicing right now. I like to think that Danny Pinner is gonna have to be at center. We're gonna put Fries at guard, and we're gonna keep Braden Smith at tackle, and of course Nelson and Raymond on the left side. I mean, that's all you can do.
That's what I like. I like that line, but
Yeah,
like I want to keep Braden Smith at that right tackle position. That's what he got paid to do. But
I was just about to say, man.
I'm not the coach. I'm not the front office. We'll see what happens. It's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. Matt Pryor does not need to be starting.
No.
Put him on right bench. That first step. Bradley Chubb, I mean, he tore that man up, and we saw that last game. Let's keep him benched. Bernard Raymond, left tackle, I like to see that. Shake off the rust of those penalties. Let's not hold every time somebody gets past you. We don't want a litany of penalties again. Danny Pinner, he's probably going to play better in that center position. And Ryan Kelly, let's be honest, he's severely regressed as we've seen. So let's try that out. But the question is, what's the plan to protect Matt Ryan? I mean, I honestly don't think there is one yet. I think they're still experimenting, and I think they're going to do that every week until they see some solid protection. I mean, we're last in the league in points per game, sacks, and interceptions. Matt Ryan has 11 fumbles and 7 interceptions. Really bad offense right now. Not the step in the right direction. I mean, we're week 6. Jeez. It's really everyone's fault, though.
Yeah,
I can't just say, what's the plan to protect Matt Ryan? Well, what's Matt Ryan's plan to secure the ball, to make better plays? He has to be better at minimizing mistakes. He's an experienced veteran. He should not be making mistakes like not wanting to throw the ball away when he needs to, when he doesn't see an open receiver. You know, our receiving squad is below average, kind of. I mean, we could say it's average, but a lot of the league will say below average. So a lot of these mistakes have led to more sacks than we should have. You know, 21 sacks given up is not all on the offensive line. Those extra sacks have led to those fumbles. The miscommunication between the center and quarterback has led to plenty of fumbles as well. Haven't even talked about interceptions. So bad in the Broncos game. We're not even going to talk about that. I think we talked about that last podcast. Matt Ryan has some trash interceptions. But yeah, I think the plan right now is to experiment, see what works. I don't know if there should be a one-fits-all, you know, for games down the line. Like, if you excel at this position, you should do well against other D-lines, against other packages. But we'll see, Jamal. It's just wait and see at this point. I mean, we've been winning with a busted-up O-line, so 2 games.
No, and I was gonna say the exact same thing, man. We can experiment until the cows come home, because if it's gonna get us the dub, or at least put us in the running versus what we saw week 1 and week 2, experiment all day long. I'm completely fine with it.
Look, question 2, baby. Should we just tank for a franchise quarterback at this point?
Yes. Excuse me. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. No. Let's be in all seriousness. I do think it's time for us to get a franchise quarterback. The days of us experimenting through multiple quarterbacks is long gone. We have seen that it has not been successful for more reasons than one. I like to, and I'm not going to harp back on going back to question number 1, but when I think of question 2, should we just tank for franchise quarterback? I think if we had a mobile quarterback, that maybe some of these question number 1 answers that we gave about how we're going to protect Matt Ryan with the bad O-line, etc., may not be as big of a problem, but I won't go all the way down that hole. So I do think it's time for us to get a franchise quarterback. I don't know that tanking is the way to go. Currently, right now, we are sitting at the number 18 spot for a first-round pick. So we will have an opportunity if we, continue on this track, maybe to get a little lower, or maybe hang out where we are. Looked at a couple mock drafts, and everything I saw in all the mock drafts were giving us, cornerbacks, DNs, etc. Nothing was about a quarterback. So I was curious to, I was interested when I was looking at the mock drafts. But I think that if we end with something like a number 18 spot, that's prime time realty for us to go ahead and put all of the marbles in, go ahead and maybe lose our second round pick that we get as well. Trade, so we can try to trade down for maybe a little bit lower, maybe a number 10, maybe a number 9 spot, because at this point, why not? We have one of the highest offensive lines in the league or most expensive, I should say. So why not have a quarterback that we're going to try to utilize our people with? I know I've talked about it before. Jim Irsay is not a tanker. He's not going to want us to go out and lose every game just to get the number one spot. So I do think it's smart for us to continue as we are right now, but look to. Wait,
hold on. If we draft a rookie quarterback next year, what do you want to do with him? With that expensive offensive line, what's your plan?
I want him to play. I don't know that necessarily be a starter because we have all the money wrapped into Ryan. I don't think that they'll be a starter. But if it's a Will Levis or C.J. Stroud or something like that, I know they will anticipate coming in wanting to start. I don't think that they would. So I would like for them to get at least opportunities to get in there and get a feel for the game with a shaky O-line that we have, because we've seen from last year that the O-line can be good. It's just a few missing components that haven't really got put together to make them where they should be. So I like to think that if we had a rookie quarterback, a round one rookie quarterback, we would be okay. I just don't know that they would need to be a starter their first year. But I do think this is the time instead of waiting until next year.
Okay. So you think we should tank for a franchise quarterback?
I think that we should play to our ability, but if we get into a situation where we know it's going to be a 9 and
dancing boy,
no. If it's going to be a 9-8 season, then no. I don't want to go 9-8 and have a number 24 pick and then we just decide to get rid of that one and don't draft anybody in the first round, or we're looking at that point because it's so late in the first round, we're not even looking at a quarterback. So if that's the case, then yes, I'd rather us go out with a 4 or 5 win season and get a better draft spot and get a great quarterback. A potential great quarterback. Not a great one, a potential.
But at this point, so the question was at this point, so you have to make the decision as the GM right now.
Right now?
Are you tanking for a franchise quarterback?
Yes, I am.
Are you playing for the playoffs?
No, I'm tanking for a franchise quarterback. Yeah, because we're not going to do anything in the playoffs. We haven't done anything in the playoffs for years. So what makes things going to be any different this year? Nothing's going to change from this year. Teams are going to get better and better as the season goes on. I would like to hope that we would get better and better, but the way we've played so far, no. We just had a dogfight with the second lowest scoring team in the NFL on last Thursday, and we barely escaped that. No. So I know what will happen if we get to the playoffs in a wild card spot and we have the Bills we're going up against, who are averaging 37 points a game. No, I don't want that. I'd rather just go ahead and tank, call it quits early on so we know what our game plan is. But I know Jim Irsay, he ain't about that life. What about you, bro?
And my man is a lifelong Colts fan, already wants to tank with an experienced veteran at quarterback. We got
11 fumbles?
All-pro players on defense everywhere. We got an all-pro running back.
seven Pro Bowlers, and we didn't make the playoffs last year.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
We can go down that rabbit hole.
Look, I would have been agreeing with you if we would have lost to the Broncos and then won 3-1. I would have definitely said maybe. I probably would have said, yeah, might as well, because it would have looked grim. 2-1, second in the AFC South. I'm still with let's win some games. There are a lot of one-win teams right now, and most of them aren't going to be winning anymore. Like the Panthers, Texans. They all look primed for about 3 wins this season. That means Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud are already off the board, unless we somehow trade, a ransom for them, which I hope we don't do. You also have to realize Frank Wright and Chris Ballard are not in tank mode. They need to avoid their seats from getting any hotter. So it's playoffs or bust as of right now, and they're going to do everything in their power to get us there. So the players want to win too. I was saying, we got a lot of veterans out there. There's just, I don't see any realistic way for us to tank right now. Then you also have to think about, there are people saying this is one of the deepest quarterback classes ever. So I think we'll be able to find a quality candidate, even if we end up with a mediocre pick. And I wouldn't hate the idea of trading up, but like Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Will Levis, like you said, you got Jaren Hall out of BYU, Anthony Richardson still on the table, Cam Ward, Hendon Hooker. There's a lot of names. I mean, that's not even everybody. There's a lot of quarterbacks that could be quality candidates here. So I don't think we should tank at this point because the AFC South is still up for grabs, and we can certainly win it and punch our ticket to the playoffs at this point.
All right, so let me just counter that real quick, though. So as a Colts fan, and in Colts Nation, as goes to y'all too, as a Colts fan, you would be okay with winning the AFC South, punching that ticket, and just getting mopped the first game, and you're back to square one.
How do you know we're going to get mopped in the league?
I want to be realistic. Because we haven't been past week one.
The NFL first round has look. The NFL has parity. We've seen wild card teams win the Super Bowl.
We have.
Look,
yeah, but we also seen teams who had a 99.7% chance to make the playoffs lose two games in a row and miss the playoffs.
Hey, that's history. We're looking forward right now.
And we I respect it. All I'm saying is I'm just trying to, I want to be a realist here though. When we look into, are we in our as the Colts as a franchise who you just said people are saying we have a mediocre wide receiver core, are we in playoff mode right now? That's my only thing. We're right now, I feel like we're still trying to find our steps. I feel like we are just getting to where most teams, I don't want to say all elite teams because I know we're not elite teams. I'm not trying to compare that. But I feel like as in week 6, we're going to week 6, we're at where most teams were in week 2, week 3. They're still trying to find out what's going on. We're just starting to get the wheels turning. And as I mentioned, where we have 5 out of our 7 conference games in the first, are coming up. If we win this week against the Jags and then we win against next week against the Titans, then yes, then I will fully agree. Then we should be firing all cylinders. But it's hard to compare, and it's hard for me to get excited for the playoffs when I see, again, a Jags team that can go beat the Chargers, but then get beat by the Texans, and then a Titans team that can barely win against. I feel like when we play in our division, we all just crumple against each other. But we can go to any other divisional or any other game, conference game or non-conference game, and play pretty good. But then we play against each other, and it's just like the sloppiest, ugliest, nastiest game, and I don't understand why. So I hope that we beat the Jags, and I hope we beat the Titans so we can end, our division, our 5 division games on top. But I just want to make sure that the team is in playoff mode, playoff mindset. And again, I know Reich and Ballard are on the hot seat, so they have to go to the playoffs if they want to keep their jobs. But the players have to be there too, because if everybody's not on board, I just don't know what's the purpose of us winning 8 or 9 games to just do nothing within the back half.
I hear you, but I just don't think with the points I laid out, I don't think we can tank at this point. I don't think we'd be in a position to.
Yeah.
Even if we do, I just don't think we're gonna out tank. Like if we wanted to tank, we need like a top 2 or 3 pick.
That's true.
To get a over the top quarterback, and then after that, I mean, you still get high quality candidates, but they're not like boom automatic. They're not automatic picks. Like I don't know where Will Levis is going to fall yet. I don't know where Anthony Richardson's going to be at, but they are candidates, and we can take a chance on them. So.
That's fair. That's fair. Again, like you said, I do think we're in a terrible position to where we can't lose for every other game for the rest of the season. But I do think right now, the number 18 spot, like we talked about, if we have an opportunity to trade up to potentially get, and I'm not saying trade up to a number 3 pick, but if we can even drop it to a number 10, number 9, I have to look through the whole quarterback class to see if there would be even a value one at the number 9 or 10 position spot. Then maybe I would like to see something like that. I just fear that we'll trade down or we'll trade away we'll go higher. We'll go 25, 26, 27 to pick up a second round or something like that, because I know Ballard is about gaining more picks to take care of some of the like quick picks like the Nick Crosses and the Raymonds and the Pierce that he did this past year. But we'll talk about that towards the end of the season.
Yeah, we won't spend too much more time on that. Let's go to the third one.
Yeah, next one.
Go ahead. Ask me.
DJ Moore, what you think?
What do I think?
The Carolina Panther boy.
Receiver, more than 1,100 yards in 3 consecutive seasons. Only 25 years old. Entering his prime. I would love to have this yards after catch piece. Sign me up. Oh, wait. Not with this given circumstances, though. I would love to have DJ Moore. But what do I think? I don't think the Colts should pursue him. And I don't think they are. They're not. I think there's plenty of other teams that might be picking up the phone to call. I don't think we're one of them. He just got a 3-year, $61.9 million extension this past offseason. Do we really need to pay a receiver right now that much, $20 million a year? When you look at our receiving core, yeah, we said it's below average, but Alec Pierce is starting to look like the real deal. Michael Pittman, we can all agree, is a stud. Paris Campbell, so far, so healthy. He would count so much against the cap space in 2023. And I don't think he fits well enough to spend that kind of money. And it's not just money. We're also talking about draft picks or giving up a player that we already have. So that could be 2 draft picks just for DJ Moore. And I don't want to give up our draft capital. We need a first-round pick. We don't get many of those historically.
Yeah.
And there's other positions we need to fill, and I'd rather use our draft capital there. Or, like you said earlier, trade up for a potential franchise quarterback. I don't think DJ Moore getting on this team changes where we're at right now. I don't think so. So I'm on the no DJ Moore train.
Fair enough. I mean, everything you just said was basically what I was going, except for I didn't have all the specs on his contract that he had just signed. So I'm glad you talked about that. As everyone knows, Ashton Doolin officially on the IR, so he's out for the next 4 weeks. He was 3rd in yards and 4th in receptions, so of course we're going to have someone pick up from there. But like you mentioned, Pierce coming out of his shell, we know what Pittman can do. We know he can take off at any time, and Campbell, he's still on the field. So we got some people. If we need somebody, we'll bring Patman back off the practice squad. I'm sure we'll bring him back up if needed. And Ballard, he said it multiple times. He's not worried about a wide receiver core right now. So I don't think it will be worth the money and like you said, the draft picks and the trouble for us, especially where we have Alec Pierce, who's just gotten better week by week by week, and I can continue to see him to grow. I like what we have right now. I think that, again, if we get all of our aces in their places with the line and Matt Ryan, these guys could come out and ball out. So I'm off that train. It would be great to have him, but again, do we need him for right now? I think we're okay.
Absolutely. You want to break down the last question?
Yeah, man. Last up. The money man. You talked about this guy. You said you possibly were going to get his jersey before the Michael Pittman Jr. situation. My man, Nick Cross. What happened to him? He went from hero to zero real quick.
He did, didn't he? I mean,
Yeah.
this is a great question. I don't think it's getting talked about enough because I have no fucking idea what happened. But really, how does the preseason star rookie Nick Cross not play a single snap in the last 2 games? He went from 70 snaps to 46 snaps to 1 snap from week 1 to week 3. I'll tell you why. And it's the exact reason I told you guys back when I thought Rodney McLeod would start over him come week 1. I was wrong, but the reasoning's still there. 1, experience. Gus Bradley even said it in week 3 against the Chiefs after that win. He said he thought Rodney McLeod's experience might help us a little more in that situation. And it's become evident that experience is invaluable. Yes, Nick Cross is a better athlete and more explosive, in my opinion, than the 32-year-old veteran, not 42. But that's not what the coaching staff seems to care about the most, so there you are. But here's the caveat. Julian Blackmon went down in that game in week 3. The Colts opted to replace him with Rodney Thomas II instead, the 7th rounder out of Yale. That's the most crazy part. So he's been taking all the snaps at free safety since then, literally. He's played 100% of the defensive snaps in the last 2 games. Was it the right decision? You could argue yes. I mean, he's played really well, especially against the Broncos. 5 tackles, 2 solo, 1 interception, 2 passes defended. he hasn't let, defenders really beat him over that top where he's supposed to be at that free safety position. I've seen this before with many teams where you draft someone early, and then after a few months, the late rounder of that same position will start to take over the guy you drafted early. The NFL draft is deep. That's why I want to keep our draft capital unless we're trading for something really good. Most people just watch the first round and say, all right, let's go get some burgers and fries. I'm done watching. Nah, man. NFL is deep. Lots of good players come out late rounds. That's what happened to Nick Cross. That's what I think.
Yep, I agree with everything you just said. I only want to add on one other thing, and I think it's the C word, confidence. I think that Nick Cross doesn't possess the confidence. Like he's like you mentioned, great athlete, and I think he understands what's going on. But he there's no way you can be that confident because, we saw preseason, we saw training camp, game 1 4 tackles, game 2 5 tackles, game 3 1 snap, and it was over. So I definitely think it's a confidence issue, and I don't know if it's he doesn't have confidence in himself, or the coaches don't have confidence in him, or a mixture of all, or both. But it's weird. It's weird. But shout out to McLeod for coming in and stepping up. It's been great for everybody. I feel bad for Nick, but hopefully it's not something where he is like done. You know what I mean? I don't mean done as far as his career, but just done because being a Mitch. Because Gus Bradley said at this point, it's not a matter. They're saying that he's not going to play, but it's going to be a matter of when. So I don't know. It's weird, but I agree with all you said.
0 snaps the last 2 weeks. Gus Bradley is lying. That man ain't playing for a minute. I don't know what happened in that locker room or at practice, but there is something deeper, because to me that doesn't make a lot of sense unless, they saw something in Rodney Thomas. But look, I want the Colts to have their 11 best players out there on defense, so sure. I'm not going to argue. Just giving my thoughts.
For sure.
Well, that's going to be it, everyone, for our first Q&A session. Next time we do this, please be sure to check social media. We send those out. We put it on our Instagram story, everything. We want these questions. This was fun. But that's it. I want to thank everyone for tuning into the Colts Cast. Release episodes bi-weekly. Go ahead and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any platform you use to listen to podcasts. We will be back after we win against the Jacksonville Jaguars at home to give you some more Indianapolis Colts content. Y'all take care.
Take care.